Hi, I'm Christopher. Today I'm going to read this book. Curious George Discovers the Ocean. 안녕하세요. 나는 크리스예요. 나는 오늘 이 책 읽을게요. Curious George Discovers the Ocean.
Curious George Discovers the Ocean. George was a good little monkey and always very curious. Do you want to hear about the time George discovered the ocean? It's hard to believe, but the story starts in the sky. George had always dreamed of flying, so this was his lucky night. Sorry to pick you up so late, Professor Wiseman said, but a miniature weather satellite just crashed from space. It needs to be found right away, and I think you can help. George and the man with the yellow hat watched from the helicopter as their house got smaller and smaller below. They passed the city, the country, and the beach. Soon they were flying over the ocean. Guess who spotted the ship first? Yes, George. There's the Einstein Pizza research ship just ahead, the man said. Professor Einstein and Professor Pizza looked worried. They explained the situation to George. The satellite splashed down close by, but no one is sure exactly where. It might have broken in the crash. That doesn't sound good, does it? What if the information and photographs the satellite had gathered were lost? Should we help them look for it? The man asked. George couldn't wait to begin. If they were going to search the ocean floor for the satellite, they would need to take a pizza and Einstein's submarine. First a helicopter and now a sub. Today was turning into a big adventure. What do you think George saw through the sub's windows? There was so many things to look at. Fish, plants. Okay, George, the man said, keep your eyes peeled for that satellite. George tried to pay attention. Soon the submarine's sonar began to beep. Had they found the satellite already? That's not the satellite, George, Professor Wiseman said. Look, the sonar had found a giant sea turtle. It wasn't long before the sonar found the real satellite. We're getting close, Professor Wiseman said, but hold on, we have a problem. The satellite is inside the coral reef. Oh no! There was only one way into the reef, through a tiny passage. The sub was much too big to fit. George was so disappointed. The team returned to the research ship to make a new plan. If the sub was too big to get into the reef, they need something smaller. Do you have any ideas? George had one. He was small enough to fit through the opening. With a scuba suit, George could swim and explore the coral reef and get the satellite. George's scuba suit fit just right. Your helmet contains a camera, microphone, and headphones. The locator will flash when you're close to the satellite, Professor Wiseman explained. We'll be able to see you on our monitor and speak to you the whole time. Are you ready? George was ready and excited. The swim fins helped George swim fast. He swam over and around the coral reef until he spotted the opening. You found the opening, George! He could hear Professor Wiseman's voice loud and clear through the speakers in his helmet. You should be able to swim right through. Once he was inside, George couldn't believe his eyes. Can you believe how many animals live inside the coral reef? With so many new creatures swimming around him, George never expected to run into someone he recognized. Exploring the coral reef was so much fun that George almost forgot why he was there until he was distracted by a beeping sound. What could it be? His locator, it was flashing. You're getting close to the satellite, George, Professor Wiseman said. George and his new friend swam deeper. George looked and looked. The satellite must be here somewhere. Suddenly, George noticed something strange. Shadows swirled around him on the ocean floor, shark-shaped shadows. George was frightened. He wasn't sure if sharks and monkeys were friends. Don't worry, George. Those small reef sharks aren't hungry. The coral reef supplies them with all the food they need, Professor Wiseman explained. What a relief. George was distracted by the sharks that it took him a moment to notice what was behind him. It was right there. He had finally found the satellite. Professor Wiseman flew her helicopter over the reef and lowered a rope. Down to the sea floor, George grabbed on, and he and the satellite rode out of the water, up to the helicopter, and back to the research ship. George was happy that he found the satellite, but still, if it was broken, all that work and searching would be for nothing. When they got back to the ship, Einstein and Pizza checked the satellite. It's in great shape, Professor Pizza said. Not a scratch on it, shouted Professor Einstein. The research was saved, all thanks to George. Ahoy, George! They called from the ship. They wanted to celebrate. But what do you think George was doing? It had been quite a day. George got to fly in a helicopter, and that was fun. But he decided swimming in the ocean was even better because in the sky there are no sea turtles. The end.